When someone goes missing in your life, it's usually not planned. It's totally unexpected, and you get thrown for a loop. This one lady who sat in front of me, she basically she heard what I did, and she needed to heal. And basically, we spent about 3 hours together. Might have been more, but the bottom line was she found out her husband was having an affair. And shortly after she found out, then she found out it had been going on for a while. And they had just started discussing it when a couple days later, when she went up to bed in the evening, she found him dead in the bed. And he had had a heart attack. And I have no idea why, but I can imagine it might have been from all the stress that he was carrying around. But this heart attack had it was like instantaneous. I think they were in their, early to mid 40s. And when the lady sat down, she says, I feel ashamed, I feel silly, I feel unworthy, I feel betrayed. And when I shared with her some of the things we might do, she just said, let's do it. She said, I'm tired of feeling this way. I'm tired of feeling this way. So what ended up happening was I set up the cushions on the floor, and I put my back against the wall, and I put a cushion between us, and she put her back to me, and I put my hands on her shoulders, and I said, okay, I'm your husband, and you're you. Start talking. And for the first few minutes, all she did was cry. And then I just let her, and I didn't say anything because my job was to respond as her husband. And eventually it came out, even the fact that how dare you die on me and leave me with our 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. What am I going to do? How dare you? And she was really, really plugged in, as you can imagine. I mean, they were financially taken care of. That wasn't an issue. She just felt so empty and betrayed, and understandably so. And we did it. It was pretty amazing. She yelled and screamed. She used profanity, and I even said back, well, excuse my language. I said, well, I was an asshole. And she just went, whoa. And again, if you've ever had that situation where you tried to empty the soap out of the bottom of a dishwashing bottle, you fill it up with water and you squirt it out, and there's always that little bit there. And there was some more there, and squeezed it out. And every time we thought we were getting close to the end, she would say, and what about this, and what about that, and what about this? And we just stayed there as long as we needed to stay there, in the middle of the living room. And a place she felt comfortable with, a place where it was home, that she felt safe, and she got to say everything she needed to say. And it's one of my, I feel weird saying fondest memories, but it's one of the most heartfelt memories I have of being blessed to do this, because her pain went away. Pain that she'd been carrying for almost a year. And and basically what her big thing is that her 2 sons and her daughter got their mother back. And because she said not only did the kids lose their dad, but for almost a year they lost their mom because she was just gone. She was mentally going through the motions. She was mentally just showing up and just doing everything as if by rote. She was just, okay, well, I've made their lunches, I've taken them to school, I've taken them to band practice, I've taken them to volleyball practice, I've taken them to whatever they needed to do. We'd do it as a family, and she would show up at dinners and with family dinners, and she's driving on autopilot. She was living her whole life on autopilot, and she had a chance to take the reins again, and she had a chance to live her life. And I think the coolest thing was when the boys said, thanks for giving me our mom back. And I haven't met the daughter yet, but it was a blessing. So sorry for taking so long to tell that story, but it was one of the most heartfelt ones that I've been through. And again, I didn't get plugged in, and again, it's all God. I say a prayer and I ask him to say, what does this lady need to hear? And if I was her husband, what do I need to say when I was being the idiot? Because in the past, I'm a good provider and this, I was an idiot, and so again, when you're compiling your own list, make sure you keep a list of all the good points of the person you're missing as well. It's not always about the bad. Nothing is 100% bad. Nothing is 100% good. It's only bad or good that we label it that way. So, because when you go through the entire process, whether it be on your own in the workbook, with your doctor, your psychiatrist, your counselor, or if you choose to use me, we're going to take you through the good and the bad. And we're going to take you through the tough stuff to get through to the good stuff. And, they say the only way out is through. I mean, no matter how big of a mess you think you're in, if you could rise up above it and get airlifted out, that would be cool. But, and maybe you can do that. Go see your pastor, your priest, your rabbi. And maybe in your belief system you can get forgiven and let it all go. But sometimes you need to work it through with somebody. And again, I highly advise you to see your doctor, psychiatrist, psychologist, counselor, somebody licensed if it's really, really that bad. But I'm here to help too if we can. So make sure you take the good with the bad, because it always balances out.